Welcome to an evening routine where I'm so excited to share with all of you my nighttime routine, all of my essential products and habits that I use to support my hormones in the evening time. Second Serrano Sleepy Girl Spritzer. And the thing with the tart cherry juice, I've talked about this before, especially when it comes to the kids, is that I, since Ronan has been 2 years old, 2.5, I would say, have been giving him 1.5 ounces of tart cherry juice in the morning and 1.5 at night. I actually don't need to do it that much anymore. And the reason being was giving him tart cherry juice was actually helping extend his REM cycles for the reasons we're going to get into next, the reasons why I'm drinking it. They help extend your REM cycles. I'm gonna move you guys this way because I just started the dishwasher and I know we're getting all sorts of background noise, but I do need to finish cleaning. But I want to talk with you about the Sleepy Girl Spritzer and about the dinner that I was making, the salad with the pumpkin seeds and all of the greens, because those are magnesium-rich foods. So when I'm thinking through my meals, I always want to include dark leafy greens. I always say try to eat greens with 2 meals per day, but I also think about healthy fiber, healthy fats, and high quality protein, as well as beautiful starches. So I did just post a video on my channel 2 weeks ago for what I eat in my luteal phase. I will put that for you up here in the cards. I am going to be filming over the next 2 months the remaining 3 videos for the different phases of our menstrual cycle. But with that, every night when I'm eating dinner, I'm thinking about my hormones, because I am somebody who's trained in functional nutrition when it comes to women's hormone health. That is just the first thing I think of. Like, what can I do today, tonight, at any point to support my hormone health? And so to bring us back home, on my second Sleepy Serrano Spritzer is because tart cherry juice increases our body's own production of melatonin. And we all know that melatonin is incredible for helping you feel sleepy, helping you get to sleep faster, and to help you break up those nighttime wakings. I am not a massive fan of taking melatonin to sleep. I prefer to help our body create more of its own melatonin because melatonin is indeed actually a hormone. So I am doing the tart cherry juice to produce my own healthy melatonin levels. And then when it comes to those dark leafy greens and the pumpkin seeds and all of the foods, they're rich in magnesium. And you guys know my love for magnesium. I am not working with biooptimizers on today's video, but I mean, they are just such an intricate part of my life. I do take 2 of the magnesium breakthroughs before bed. It is just a standard practice of mine, which of course is magnesium. And so that is most definitely a nighttime essential. And then of course those dark leafy greens, those pumpkin seeds, all of those foods that I'm consuming are rich in magnesium. So if we are not getting deep, restful sleep at night, the next day, we tend to suffer with a little bit of blood sugar instability, and that insulin sensitivity that we're dealing with has a major impact on the rest of our hormones. Also, if we are sleep deprived, then we are typically spiking cortisol in the morning, which is when we do want to have elevated higher levels of cortisol. But when we are sleep deprived and we don't have our strong routine of nighttime essentials, we tend to also spike our cortisol a little bit later in the day, again at 2, 3 o'clock. Oftentimes we can even have an additional cortisol spike at 10 o'clock at night, which is why sometimes we have such a challenging and difficult time falling asleep. So all of this comes together really beautifully, and I always say that health doesn't need to be so complicated. We can do so much, and it really does feel like so little. We can have these fun, beautiful, nourishing hacks in our routine that support us on a deep cellular level that give us those happy, healthy hormones. So speaking of happy, healthy hormones, my next nighttime essential comes down to cleaning. I mentioned the dishes. I did just start the dishwasher. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe down all of the countertops, and cleaning to me is essential to my nighttime routine. It helps me feel relaxed and it helps me unwind, and it is so supportive of my nervous system. So I'm taking my magnesium, I'm drinking my Serrano Sleepy Spritzer, and then I'm doing this relaxing cleaning. I've lowered the overhead lights at this point. All of this plays an intricate role in my overall feeling of relaxation as I continue to unwind. Okay, so we have gotten everybody to bed at this point. I have made a delicious cup of lemon balm tea, and I wanted to sit down and talk with you guys. Typically, I do this tea and journaling part upstairs, but Kaya is in the shower and trying to unwind. So I figured, let's get cozy here on the couch. I even have the kids' playroom blanket here to the side of me in case we want to get extra cozy during our journal exercise. But I wanted to share with you all how important it is to have a bookend on either side of our day. And I so frequently talk about my morning routine because my morning routine is the most coveted time of my day. I am not a morning person. I will probably say this for eternity, for as long as I make YouTube videos, but I am not innately a morning person. I have forced myself to become someone who wakes up before my children ever since I had my first son. So about a year after I had him, I quickly realized that if I wanted any time to myself, if I needed to feel as though I'm starting my day on 2 feet planted on the ground, then I needed to wake up before he did. So that is exactly what I have trained my body to do over probably the last 7 years. But an integral part of having that beautiful morning routine is having these nighttime essentials that help me unwind. And I talk about gratitude journaling a lot in my morning routines, but also at the end of the day, I like to go through and think of anything that may still be lingering on my mind. So whether that is work to-dos, personal to-dos, I like to take a look at our calendar. Then I see on my calendar that it's hat day tomorrow. I've got the kids' hats ready. I also see that it's media center day. Does Sawyer have her book that's packed? Like all of the things that tend to hit our brain the second we lay down in bed. I do my best at this point to look at the calendar and write everything down. And then what I'll do is I also will set reminders so that my phone will go off at certain times in the morning to prompt me to do these things. So I kind of like triple check my list and I have it in a few different places. That way when I lay down at night, there's nothing lingering that's keeping me awake. Also, I kind of do like a little bit of gratitude journaling here at the end of the day as well, where I just write down the things that went really well, the things that I'm grateful for, the things that maybe I could have done a little bit better as a human, as a mother, as a wife, as a friend. Like, is there a situation I could have reacted better to? Like, I write those things down. I am not perfect. No one is perfect. I am far from perfect. So I like to take a look at the things that I could have potentially done better and then think through ways that I could show up in those situations a little bit more gracefully next time. So I kind of write those things down. And then oftentimes, especially right now in the fall season, I'm not loving this. Okay, there. That's better. And then oftentimes, whether it's in the winter, the spring, summer, or the fall season, if I'm in session with my girls and moms need to be healthy too, I will also go through our weekly journal prompts. So right now, when I'm filming this, we are in week 1, which is sleep and hydration. Next week is nutrition. It is such a beautiful 8-week course, but right now we are in week 1. So our journal prompts for the end of the day are: how did I sleep last night? How did I wake up this morning? Did I properly hydrate? How was my energy throughout the day? So I will go through those journal prompts and just quickly jot down. It takes me no more than 5 minutes to jot down and go through these journal prompts, but it is so helpful for me. I go right along the course with them, so I think it's really important for me to also track within my journal prompts. So during this time, and I mentioned this earlier, it's really important to lower down the lights. You can see I've got the lights on behind me. Typically, I don't have the overhead lights on, but I did just sit down and start to film, and I was like, it is so dark. I have to have a little bit of overhead lighting on, but typically I have all of the overhead lights off, which you probably saw earlier when I was filming in the kitchen during cleaning. We have a lot of ambient lighting, and also you can create ambient lighting. If it's not something that you have built into your home, you can create that with like flameless candles, with lamps. There's so many things. I have salt lamps and diffusers all throughout our house that do give us that ambient lighting. It's really important to lower down the lights. That with our Serrano Sleepy Spritzer is so helpful for producing that melatonin. So as we get into this rest and relaxation phase, which we're doing, we're really working to nourish and nurture our hormones. So by lowering the lights at night, this is really important. So I'm going to go through and do my journaling, my gratitude journaling. I'm going to cross-check all of my calendar to-dos. I'm going to set any reminders that I may need to. And what this does is this just, I always say, it kind of like takes out the trash in my brain, because so often as mothers, as women, as humans, it feels like we are running so fast all day long without taking 1 second to come up for air. And during that time, sometimes it's really hard to feel that we're grounded and that we have a grasp on everything. But then the second our head hits that pillow, suddenly all of the thoughts and all of the to-dos come rushing into our mind. And I find this is such a beautiful practice to help prevent that. Therefore, we can get that deep, restful sleep. Okay, so there was definitely, it was a very like grateful day. And here, this video is going to be longer than I had anticipated, but here's the craziest thing. I actually filmed a different video yesterday for this week, which would have been Monday. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, which was Monday. And I filmed the video. I was feeling really good about it. I sat down and I was to watch it on my computer to edit, and I was like, oh my gosh, there was certain frames out of focus. There was like too much indirect light coming through at one point, and it was a complete sit down video. And I was like, this looks terrible. This is not the video for me. So I was feeling a little bit defeated today. So I am shocked to see that today definitely turned out to be a really good day, even though I could have let that kind of ruin my entire day. So I just moved this up. I was like, all right, moving on. We will just film a different video. We'll make the best of it. We're going to film something that I've been wanting to film anyways, and then we'll just save that other video for a few weeks from now. So definitely feeling grateful for not just like giving up, throwing in the towel, just pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, even though I had my mind set on something completely different. But now we are going to head upstairs, hop in the shower. First, I'm going to be doing a little bit of dry brushing. I want to share with you guys some of my favorite new pajamas that I got from Amazon. Oh my goodness, they are like my favorite new pajamas, and they feel like absolute luxury. I will link them for you in the description box down below. Tonight is not a hair wash night, thank goodness, but I am going to jump in the shower. Before I do that, I'm going to do a little bit of dry brushing, and I talked with you guys how I wanted to share these new pajamas. They are Amazon Essentials. They're not that new. I'm pretty sure I've had them for a month or two, but now that it's starting to get cooler out, I am absolutely obsessed. So this is like the cream color, and they are a long sleeved button with the most comfortable pants, and I have them in 3 different colors. I will link them for you in the description box down below. And I shared this in an evening routine that I did in the summertime, that having like beautiful, freshly laundered, these smell delicious, beautiful and freshly laundered pajamas is like one of those nighttime essentials that just helps me sleep so well. So I do every single night. I take a shower, whether it is hair wash night or not. I always am sure to take a shower. I do my dry brushing, and then I will put on my lotion, my oils, and obviously like all of my face creams and serums, and then head to bed. And I think that it is so important to have these, as I was saying earlier, these bookends to our day. My morning ones are something that I look forward to so much. And sometimes at the end of the day, when I'm really exhausted, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do the nighttime ones. I just want to hurry up and go to bed. But I find that I do just sleep so much better. I get to sleep faster. I sleep more soundly when I do take these steps and I go through these nightly essentials to help me feel a lot more supported. So after my shower, I'm going to crawl into bed. And the last thing that I do that I want to encourage all of you guys to do is that I put my phone on airplane mode. So I know I have dabbled and I have talked a little bit here and there about EMFs and how I manage and mitigate the EMFs in our house. There's a lot of grounding that we have done in our home when we built our home, but I've even shared on Toxic Talk on Instagram how I use the shungite stones. I will put some B-roll here on the screen for you, how I use shungite stones to help manage EMF exposure. And one thing that I have done every single night for at least 5 years, but more like 6 or 7 years, is I do sleep with my phone on airplane mode every single night. When we want to think through connecting our sleep cycles, we can take all of our beautiful magnesium breakthrough. We can make our Serrano sleepy spritzer, but if we are exposed prolongedly to EMFs, electromagnetic fields throughout the night, it is highly disruptive to our sleep. So that is the last thing that I do on a nightly basis, is that I turn my phone. I of course turn the sound machine on, all of my regular things that I do, but I do turn my phone on airplane mode and I sleep with it on airplane mode. And I've shared this in my morning routine, that I even leave it on airplane mode all the way through the morning for like the first hour that I'm awake when I'm having my tonic and I'm doing my gratitude journaling. Up until that first cup of coffee, I still keep my phone on airplane mode. So if that is my last hormone healing tip that I can give to all of you, is to put your phone on airplane mode. That way it is not directly next to our head all night long. And there is so much to be shared on this topic, and I'm sure I will create a video in the future sometime covering this in more detail. But today we were talking about hormone health, and I would be remiss if I didn't include this in today's video, because it is most definitely one of my nighttime essentials when it comes to my evening routine, and that is always sleeping with my phone on airplane mode. So I'm going to turn on the shower, do my dry brushing, and get into my favorite, absolute favorite cozy Amazon pajamas. But I wanted to thank you all so much for watching today's video. And if you liked this video, you can let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click, that way you don't miss a single video. And I hope to see you back here next Thursday.